Welcome to another edition of LatiNation Football Club, and I'm so excited because today we go international. Yes, that's right, Ventana Internacional de Futbol, one of my favorite weeks of the year because we have games all over CONCACAF, we have CONMEBOL, we have UEFA, and even the National Soccer Women's League that started their season. And let's go at the beginning because the US and Mexico had important games today. They were disputing the semifinals of the Nations League, and the US didn't fare that well. And I have here my trusty collaborator, Nik Z. How are you, my friend?
I've been better. I mean, I'm all right, but hey, we've been better after that USA game.
Unfortunately, the US lost in the very last minute, in the last breath of the game, Nick, against a Panama team that was very organized and was able to nullify the U.S. attack and force a lot of mistakes. Pulisic wasn't a figure. Tell me, what is your analysis of this game?
We just couldn't break through. Panama really had the ability to stop the Americans, and we just couldn't do that. I mean, we had control the entire game, you could say. We had countless chances, control the possession the entire game. Panama had one shot on goal at the very last minute, and they made it count, and they scored, and they walked away with the win. You could say it's an unlucky game. Everyone has those. I think every fan of every team's experienced a time where they should have scored the whole time, they didn't, and then the other team squeezed in at the last minute. It happens. But as much as the USA dominated, as much as they didn't have luck on their side, I can't say they deserved the win. Might have said they didn't. I didn't see creativity. I didn't see the kind of finishing needed to be a championship team. We lost character. We lost heart. Yes, we're dealing with a lot of injuries, but I also saw a lot of good opportunities completely soured by lackluster touches. No bueno. Not what you would want to see from your national team. No way.
I sense a little bit of anger and frustration, Nick, in your voice. Do you think this is a sentiment that will be spreading throughout the U.S. fans and Pochettino will start feeling the heat? Because, clearly, although the team is at the infancy of this process, you cannot lose in this tournament, not being the U.S., and you cannot lose with a mistake like the keeper, Matt Turner, that otherwise is a very solid goalkeeper. This time he missed the mark. Do you think Pochettino is going to start feeling some pressure after this result?
Yeah, I think without a doubt. And look, we came into this tournament with quite a bit of pressure. It's hard being the only winner ever of a tournament, right? But look, in the Pochettino era, we spent a lot of money, haven't seen so much, we haven't had so much to show for it so far. So without a doubt, look, it's still early on. I guess there's still time. But hey, we're like a year and a half out from the World Cup that we're going to be hosting here in the United States. We got to get it together.
That's right, Nick. And for the opposite side of the bracket, with Mexico enfrentando a Canadá, let's go straight with El Chiva Mayor that is right there in SoFi Stadium. Tell me, Chiva, what are your impressions after this great result for the Mexican team?
Nik, Marcelino, we're here outside of the SoFi Stadium right after the matches between Mexico and Canada, USA and Panama. And just like you said, Nick, it was kind of upsetting to see the U.S. not advance to the final that everybody was waiting for. Panama played really good. They hold back, and at the last minute, your player Marcelino from Pumas scored the winning goal to send Panama to the final. In the second game, Mexico played versus Canada with Raúl Jiménez on fire, scoring 2 goals. The second one obviously being an amazing golazo. The crowd was energetic. Everybody was super happy. And the fact that 50,000 people showed up on a Thursday at SoFi Stadium where traffic is crazy is just a good sign of the Mexican fans, coming back again to support Mexico. Yeah, it was a tough game. Canada, I don't know, they seem a little bit lost in the field. And I'm glad to see Raúl Jiménez on fire, just like I said it last week. I said that Panama was upset, was going to upset the U.S. It happened. And I said that Raúl Jiménez was on fire and Santi Jiménez was on fire. And that's what was going to be the difference for Mexico on this game versus Canada. Now let's see on Sunday. They're playing Sunday here at SoFi. The final, Mexico versus Panama, a rematch from La Copa Oro where Santi Jiménez on the last minute goal scored and gave the trophy to El Tricolor de todos los mexicanos. I send it back to you, Marcelino, Nick.
Thank you, Chiva. Amazing report, Nick. Tell me, what are your impressions heading into the finals? Do you think Mexico is going to win this game? Do you think the U.S. is going to treat the third place game seriously, or they just going to play players that need some more minutes and get, Pochettino to see new faces? Tell me, what can we expect from the finals day?
I think it's going to be that latter thing. He's going to try to switch things up. This game, if any, without a lot of pressure on you, is the one where you can kind of relax a little bit. That pressure of having to win, I guess, is gone. And it's like, okay, how do we pick up the pieces and now move on? I mean, who's going to brag about getting third place, fourth place, or even second place? Let's be honest. So what we need to do is try something out, pick up the pieces, and move forward. Now, for Mexico, it's a completely different game, right? We're talking about the finals. And Mexico, again, a lot of pressure on Mexico. Chivas would understand that Chivas, for example, a lot of pressure because of its history in the Liga MX. Sometimes that kind of pressure isn't really justified because it's not really tied to the current reality. It's more so the history. But I think that Mexico can do great with the U.S. out. As we know, Canada always shows up against the U.S. The U.S. always shows up and does great against Mexico. Panama only shows up against the U.S. And Mexico is amazing against everyone except the U.S. So Mexico has a great opportunity here, and they can make it count if they really get out of this kind of dark place they've been in for a while. And I think they can do it because they have the momentum.
I think this was the kickstart to a new era in the Mexican team. I saw a lot of things that I really like. Los dos Jimenez up top. The first time in a long, long time that Mexico played with two forwards up top. I think if Chino Huerta came in the second half and showed that spark and why he's doing so great in Belgium. But Nik, thank you so much for your analysis. I'll talk to you later about European soccer. Before we leave, I want to ask you, there's another big CONCACAF tournament coming up, the Gold Cup. And this weekend and the next week, we're going to have a few games of qualifiers for the Gold Cup. We're talking about the developing teams in the CONCACAF and some of those who are fighting for a place in the World Cup. Of course, you guys know that I'm a big fan of Nicaragua. They're going to be playing Guadalupe, advancing and advancing as they have been doing. Nik, do you have any of these games that people sometimes just sleep over, but sometimes you have great opportunities to have an excellent parlay? Do you have anything in mind?
You know what? I have in mind that I don't want the USA to face Panama again because they knocked us out last time around. So enough. You're just trying to dig now. You're trying to reopen these old wounds. No. Gold Cup, you know, it's going to be an exciting thing. It's going to be an opportunity again for the U.S. to kind of test things out and get things in shape because right now we're a little bit all over the place. I know we're dealing with some injuries here and there, but again, another tournament. Some would argue there's too many of them, but another tournament where we can play a wide variety of different kinds of styles, different kinds of players, in a different kind of place. And I think that's what the U.S. men's national team clearly needs because some of our players, they have it. It's just not there on the field. And the more that they can play together and build that chemistry, also that chemistry between the team and Pochettino, I think that's what we need.
And especially on a World Cup cycle where Mexico, the United States, and Canada do not have a traditional qualifier route. This means that they are gonna miss out on a number of high competition games that they will normally have. So every official tournament that they can participate on the next 18 months is critical for their success. So I am sure that Mexico, Canada, and the United States will bring everything that they have to test in that tournament. In the meantime, we have to go on a break, Nik. Thank you. Well, I'll talk to you later about European soccer. We have so much more here in LatiNation Football Club. We have the, CONMEBOL. We have NWSL. We have so much more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos de LatiNation Football Club? Estamos aquí presentes en las semifinales, semifinals in Inglewood, California, in SoFi Stadium, where USA is going to play Panama and Mexico is going to play Canada. Let's see who advances to the final. It's going to be very interesting on Sunday. And we're also going to have the beginning of the season for NWSL and also all the international matches around the world. Don't miss it. Friday, this week on LatiNation Football Club, LATV, and SportsGrid.
That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's made every match so much more enjoyable to watch because you don't get the stinkers, right?
Right. It goes back to these guys being smart. They figured out that if I've got the hammer in my back pocket and I don't relinquish it, we can just play them straight up and win. They figured that out. And so it's like, all right, now credit to the people at TGL. Like, no, we need to fix this because the hammer can change the match. And since we fixed it, you're not out of it.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome back to LatiNation Football Club. And I'm beyond excited because today we extend our coverage. We become more international. We go to South America. CONMEBOL, the qualifiers are on fire. And we are going to be covering here in LatiNation Football Club. And that's why we are including Alex Crespo, our associate producer and expert on all things South America. Alex, happy to have you as part of the team.
Muchas gracias, Marcelino. I'm so excited to be here. You know, it's a great day when we're talking about international soccer, but not just international soccer. We're talking about CONMEBOL Futbol.
¿Y qué juegos tuvimos, Alex? Brasil sacando la victoria at home 2-1 over Colombia. What are your impressions of this game, and what are the implications on the qualification at large?
You know, I think it was a great game, to be honest, but Colombia just didn't have what it took at the end of the day. Brazil showed their dominance, home field advantage. Vinicius Jr. with a super golazo at the end of the game to secure the dub. Players like James, though, you know, he was showing his age a little bit, you know, not being able to run as much to the ball. You want him to do good, and you're kind of going for the underdog in this situation. But, you know, Colombia just didn't have what it took today.
I know that this table, the qualification table, is getting tighter and tighter by the minute. So run me down a little bit of what are the implications of the upcoming games this weekend and next week.
We have a very interesting table right now with Argentina at the top, Brazil right there at second, Uruguay, Paraguay, Ecuador, which Ecuador, we were seeing a lot of good quality from them. You know, they were showing dominance in their last few games. Chile is now at the bottom of the table along with Peru. It is something that's deep to my heart because, you know, I am Chileno Argentino. Right now, they're in a little bit of a rough patch.
So, Alex, before I let you go, I know you will be watching El Clásico Sudamericano, the biggest game of eliminatoria, Brazil contra Argentina, an exciting game. What are your predictions? Tell me a little preview of what you think is going to go down.
I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. Argentina is winning this game. Even though they don't have players like Messi and Lautaro or Dybala, they are going to dominate this game. They have the home advantage. It's just one of those games that you know that they're going to be the dominating force in this matchup. I mean, right now I'm even wearing El Dibu's jersey because we have one of the best goalies. We have one of the best squads. This squad has a lot of passion, a lot of drive, and I think that they're just going to be able to come out with the dub because they have the heart for it. And against Brazil, which is the, como dijiste, El Clásico de Sudamérica, this is one of those matchups you'd never want to miss.
That's right, Alex. This is one of those top octane games that you don't want to miss. Argentina, Brazil coming off a victory. You're going to see fireworks all throughout the 90 minutes. Thank you, Alex, for that excellent report on South American soccer. And now it's time to go across the pond with our expert in European football. Nik Z, happy to see you again, my friend. Talk to me about the biggest surprise in this set of games. Netherlands tying with Spain. Everybody thought that Spain will have the dominance because they're just so, they're such a powerful team. And yet, the Netherlands, back to old glories, getting the tie.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. That was certainly, look, both teams played amazing. It's just the bar is so high for Spain right now, given the talent. And they really did dominate. Let's be real. They dominated in more ways than one. But I have to say, they just weren't strong enough in the back, and Netherlands was able to squeeze 2 goals without them being able to kind of triumph over them the way that everyone thought they would.
Another game that was surprising, Italy, that as of late has been proposing with a very offensive brand of soccer, unlike the Catenaccio of the past, yet it was not enough against Germany, which goes to show that Germany is always the favorite. Tell me, what was your highlight of this game?
Oh my God. I mean, the highlights didn't stop. Italy came in hot in the beginning, but as you kind of mentioned there, Germany, Italy, the history has just always been on Germany's side. At least for the last decade and a half, might I say. You'd have to go back to 2012 to see Italy beat their German rivals. That was in the Euro semifinals. And before that, it was in 2006 in the World Cup when Italy went on to win the whole thing after Zidane smashed that one guy's sternum with his forehead like an angry rhinoceros. But yeah, since then, look, Italy's always a solid team, but they're inconsistent, right? They've been successful. We're talking about a team that's won 4 World Cups, yet they've also failed to qualify for World Cups for other major tournaments since then. So they're hot, they're cold, versus a very strong and solid German squad. That's just the way it is. Let's see what happens in the second leg.
Another game that nobody had in their parlay going this way was Croatia defeating France. Nik, what happened?
Croatia were just absolutely dominant. They have amazing players. Mbappe before the game was interviewed was giving praises to Modric, right? And it wasn't just Modric in the end. Perisic came in hot with that beautiful goal as well to put them on the map and seal the deal for that second goal. But look, this is Croatia again, sort of proving that they are a force to reckon with, that they are a world-class team. We are watching them make a name for themselves. They're on a journey to cement themselves in football history and be up there with teams like Argentina, like Brazil, like France, like Italy, who are just synonymous with amazing football. But they need that silverware. They haven't won anything significant yet. They were the runner-ups in 2018. But look, we're talking about a team that has been an independent football nation since 1998, coming off of the Yugoslav wars when they became an independent nation. So in such a short time, they've been able to make a big name for themselves. They just got to hold on to a trophy. And I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a Croatian team lifting up the Euro or the World Cup trophy in the next few years. They're just on that path and they're really hungry for it. And you could see that.
These games are truly important, Nik. Tell us why these games matter more beyond just the silverware that is ahead of them.
It matters for this. You get to practice, you got the World Cup coming up, and on top of that, how you finish here for these big teams like the ones we're talking about that's going to determine what groups they end up getting placed in when it comes time to play in the World Cup qualifiers. So the winner of Italy and Germany will play in a group of Slovakia, Northern Ireland, and Luxembourg. So you want to be the winner because that is an easier group to be in than the loser of Italy and Germany will play with Norway, Israel, Estonia, Moldova. Now, none of these teams are necessarily teams to reckon with. They're not big forces you should be scared of, but there's clearly a stronger group that the winner wants to go for.
Nik, thank you so much for your expert insight. We are always very grateful. We'll see you next week, right?
That's right.
Now we have to go on a break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're gonna talk about the National Women's Soccer League. Yes, the fastest growing soccer tournament in the nation. We'll have it here. Camila Ortiz, the latest signing of the LatiNation Football Club, will be here with her report. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Which is a great place to be. Are you in the locker room, like you giving like the Any Given Sunday Inches Al Pacino speech? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, I think we've been there. we're going to have a long talk with Rob today about the 99-199 issue from last week. Like, I just don't get how he is still employed. We got to talk to ownership about that one.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
They are a street ball team. They remind me of an N1 team, right?
Yeah.
They are street ball fast, park fast, playing in the hood. They are no joke, McNeese.
Yeah.
They can beat anybody. Well, they won 27 games as well for a reason.
It's a bracket. You trust the team to make a run. Feels good until it doesn't. And that's didn't feel good for all that long. Kansas.
Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
And we're back here in LatiNation Football Club, and I'm your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'm very excited because the time has arrived to officially kick off our coverage of the National Women's Soccer League, the NWSL. And this, as you know, is one of the fastest growing leagues in the world, not only in terms of player quality, attendance in the stadiums, and broadcast rights. All of these metrics have been enjoying record levels in 2024, and that's why we are excited beyond words to start our coverage of this league in 2025, and that's why we brought a new member to the LatiNation Football Club. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Camila Ortiz, our reporter that it will be covering everything about the women girl. Camila, welcome.
What's up, everybody? I'm super excited to report back about the season openers this weekend. We had lots of goals, also lots of ties, a lot of unanswered questions, and I think we started off great for this new season.
I know there was a banger of a game with 6 goals. Nonetheless, please talk to me about the Orlando massacre that happened on match day 1.
I mean, Orlando came out swinging. They came to show up, show who they are, and why they won the championship last season. Orlando absolutely destroyed Chicago Star, I have to say, with 6 goals, 2 goals coming from Banda. I mean, she's, again, an outstanding player, and she's really just proving why she's the top of the goal scorers, and I hope that she'll continue this season the same way.
The hype around Banda is real, and her goals are backing her up. Camila, I know that ACFC and San Diego Wave have a lot, fans had a lot of expectations around this season opener. It's kind of like a Southern California classic in the league. Tell me, did this game live up to the expectations?
I have to say it didn't. I mean, LA native, I was hoping that ACFC would come out, mark some territory, say, we're here to play. But I was just a bit disappointed. I mean, San Diego came out with the first goal, and Alyssa Thompson was able to, finish it out with a tie and at least get her team the point. But I'm hoping for this next game to see a little bit more energy, see a little bit more hunger just to win.
It is understandable, though, that in match day 1, these teams are still kind of like shaking off the rust throughout the off-season and the preseason, which is very heavy work. They're heavy legs on the first games, but are there any games that we should be tuning in and really analyzing this weekend?
I mean, yeah, I'm tuning in tonight to ACFC going up against Portland Thorns. I'm really excited to see, these power dynamics and excited to see who is going to leave their mark. Again, I'm also excited to see Washington Spirit versus Kansas City. It is a classic. I mean, both teams have this really strong fan base, and I'm excited to see how those dynamics play out in this game.
It's going to be very exciting, especially because I know that Kansas City will be hungry to get some points. They are one of the most historical teams in the league, and they didn't start their season in the right foot. I am sure that they will try to make a statement on these high-stake games that you will be able to see this weekend. Now, Camila, I know that beyond what happens on the field, this league is making waves, ripples have been affecting every age group, because recently we've seen an influx of club players, yes, teenagers that decide to forego their traditional path, including soccer, to go straight to the league. Talk to me about this phenomenon of literally kids going to work for the professional soccer teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's groundbreaking. This weekend, we actually saw McKenna Whittam, a 14-year-old girl, starting her professional career off with Gotham FC. I mean, I think it's incredible. I think that it's giving so much power, like putting the power back into the hands of the players. In 2024 alone, we saw 13 young girls completely skipping the, traditional college route, and they went directly from club to the NWSL. And I think it's great. Yeah.
Camila, and is there any pushback about this new path that kids might take, skipping college altogether?
Yeah, there definitely is some controversy around these young players just going directly into the professional league. We have a traditionally strong program such as the one at FSU. The head coach, has expressed his opinion on it maybe not being in the player's best interest to skip the college, experience. But with everything, there is controversy. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how it plays out.
That is true, Camila. The landscape in youth sports has been changing increasingly fast. The introduction of NIL money contracts for high school and college students, like in the rest of the world, kids might be choosing to become professionals at the sport at a way younger age instead of taking a traditional student athlete route. Camila, thank you for your insight. This has been amazing to learn of how this league is not only growing on the field, but also, changing the paradigm for youth athletes. Thank you, Camila. And with that, we come to the end of our show. We are so happy that you chose to spend this time with us, with Nik, Chiva, Alex, Camila, and myself, Marcelino Ortiz. And we'll be here waiting for you, the star player of LatiNation Football Club. Next weekend, watch us Fridays on the SportsGrid and LATV Networks, and any time of the week on the LatiNation app. Yo soy Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?